Vai sa Sandai, Magnesaung, Michelle,
Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the SCAI Network Show. We'll start in 10 minutes. Let's start the countdown timer. Thank you very much for joining in. So right now we are already live on X, Facebook and YouTube. Let us wait for our community to be here and we'll start in just one moment. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sky Network Show. Thank you everyone for joining in. Let me take this moment to thank Richie. Richie, welcome to the show.
Thanks
Are
for
we
having
audible? All good? Okay, it seems like there's still some network issue. So your voice is coming, but a little bit late.
me. Sorry, I'm a little delayed here at this middle line. I'm abroad right now, so you have to bear with me for a little bit. Thanks for having me on the show. It's good as always to be here with everyone else. Look forward to today's.
All right. Thank you very much, Richie. And for those viewers, let me tell you that Richie has been traveling right now from like he's right now in Portugal. And uh, first of all, let us acknowledge that he took time from his family time and for his commitment to the show that every week he is making sure that he is available. And today also we have with us Yogesh. So thank you everybody for joining in. And today's show, the topic is Wall Street meets Web3. But as rise of the show, and the show has always been all about what we did in and what we're going to be doing in the. Give us an opportunity to talk with the community. And when it comes to concern, I can see it in the James is right now facing some issues with the mining app. There are two distinctions I would like to let the James know directly from here. Number one, Sky mining app is not the Sky secure chain AI project. Number one, it is one of the component of the project. If you are facing the issues, I would suggest you to create a support ticket, talk to us, talk to anybody from our team on Telegram, uh, or write us and contact at the securechain.ai, and we'll make sure that you should be you are part of our community, and we will make sure that you are not. So that is our commitment. But there's also something which you need to do, that is just let us know, don't worry about it. um, that, so now as we are clear out of that, the second thing I would like to start as today's uh, topic of the day, right? The topic of the day is Wall Street meets Web3, right? The Sky Network show and how the institutional adoption of the Sky will come, right? So I think we'll start with everyone going around with the introduction and their greetings. So we'll go over to the Yogesh.
All right. Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks for having me here. And it is a great pleasure, as always, to come on here on every Saturday and have an opportunity to have a conversation with community. I mean, interact with the community, looking at their concerns, their questions. Appreciate James for bringing up your concerns. And as Sandeep told, just reach out to the support staff, and then let's resolve any issue you are facing in one of the components. Okay, you are facing issue with mining app. That's not everything. So just contact the support and let's resolve that. All right. That being said, now Wall Street meets Web3. I mean, that's the ultimate goal or vision of a project, because see, that's where it moves to a huge giants are taking over and getting involved into a projects like a secure chain. I mean, think about it, the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin also was taken over, or maybe a lot of people got involved, institutional investors like JP Morgan, Microsoft, and all those big guys are getting into those projects, and then they created various alliances. Like for Ethereum also they created one alliance. So I think when the institutional investors or institutions getting involved into the vision, and that's where the goal is, because it brings a lot of liquidity, because of course they are issues, right? So they bring a lot of liquidity. Now, if there is a lot of liquidity, then what does it gives? A lot of value. People can get in and out, and they can do whatever I mean they want to do with the Sky coin. So it provides a lot of liquid, and liquid market is provides various opportunities, arbitrage opportunities, and various opportunities. So that's the benefits of getting the SCAI in the hands of institutional investors. When the Wall Street wolf getting into these games, and then the SCAI becomes the bigger, which is the vision for now. That's the pathway that we are looking into. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's pretty fantastic approach to work on right now, Sandeep. What do you say?
Definitely, Yogesh. And yeah, I would like to go to Richie as well. So, Richie, would you like to add on your views and would like to greet the community here?
Web3 integration, mass adoption happens, institutions and people of the world actually implement technologies that they simplify your wallet, whether that's applications like health, these are such applications as well. The only way that happens if they have connections, they start to use these Web3 implementations to really amplify when it comes to their day-to-day life, right? At the end of the day, if we don't have these being used, they're not incorporated. We don't have that massive adoption. We don't have, well, the term might be just a little bit better on audio. You guys still hear me now? Yeah, so
Yes,
that
this is
massive
better.
adoption. We need for people to actually really take this technology and use it in daily life. And that end up like they don't even realize that blockchain is incorporated on the background of these actual implementations, whether it's the logistics app or even health or anything to do with blockchain tech in general. So that's the implementation. That's the next step. Without that mass adoption next step, we're just not being used. So we need that network to actually now take that next step where people come online, they use this in their day-to-day life and really amplify their efforts and decentralize their efforts so that they can work and do their day-to-day lives in a more secure way than we had previously.
Definitely, Richie. And yeah, you put a really good point here. So let me reiterate it because your voice was breaking a little bit. So for the viewers, uh, like end of the day, why does the SCAI need institutional adoption? Number one. Number two, what are the benefits of being able for institutions to use SCAI, invest, not just invest. There are so basically there are two very clear distinctions. One is it allows us to scale the utilities because end of the day SCAI is a utility token, right? It is not a security, it is a utility token. And the major use case of the SCAI is being able to support the SCAI ecosystem, being able to let other projects use SCAI for their use cases. And what it does with the institutional adoption, it actually creates so many new use cases, right? It creates new use cases, it creates new possibilities for the developers and the project owners to create new different types of projects on SCAI network. And end of the day, that is the most like important thing for us, that without the projects and without the adoption, the network is just as Richie was saying, it is just a network, right? It has no value. The value comes from the ecosystem, and in order to create ecosystem we need to create the infrastructure, and in order to create that infrastructure we need institutions, because if you will, it's very simple, right? The money has been around for 9,000 years, and the institutions are the one who has been leading charge so far. Though Web3 is new, we are still in our initial stages. But if we think that okay, like maybe 5 year down the line or 10 year down the line, it will be only crypto and no fiat, then you are just kidding yourself, right? That would not be a reality. The reality would always be everything will coexist, and in that coexistence, this institutional adoption plays a very big role, right?
Maybe
Yogesh?
you want to give some information about how the money was started in the first place. I mean, it might be helpful if you can give some of the insights on how the idea of money was started
Yeah.
from the beginning to now.
Yeah, sure. Like, okay, guys. So, like, idea of money itself, right? The currency, fiat, be it fiat, crypto, doesn't matter. Like, how does it started? So, like, long time ago, right? couple of thousand years ago, when human beings were evolving, right? At that time, there always used to be an issue, because after agricultural, like after the innovation of agriculture, the first thing was like, okay, I'm producing something, the other guy is producing something else. What we used to do is we used to barter. Okay, that I'll pay you 1 kg of this, you pay me 1 kg of this, right? But the issue was always that supply and demand is what creates the value. That what supply and demand determines the price. So in order to create that, people like humans came up with the idea of money. So first coins or first tokens, like first currencies, were started by the business people, uh, long time back. What, so basically, for example, if I'm I'm the business doing the business of commodity A and commodity B both together, then what I'll do is I'll create 100 for example 100 coins, and will say that, okay, this commodity is 2 coins a kg, this commodity is 1.5 coins a kg. So end of the day, this was the problem which was solved by the currency, by the money as an idea, number one. Then it started evolving. What happened is like, okay, the business people started, but then business people thought, okay, how, like everybody, community, how, adoption was the issue. So people were uncertain that, okay, a businessman can print as many token as he wants, right? There is no limited supply. Then what? So then the idea of backing came in, right? The idea of, so with the idea of backing, what happened is, it started like the business owner has to put some reserves, and he has to make sure that he only prints as that much money, which he has already put in reserves. Now what happened after that is like the problem with the enforcing the law. For example, the a business person cannot enforce that, okay, my token has to be used for by everybody, right? That is impossible to be done. So that's when the kings or the governments came in, and they started this business, they took over the money basically. And from there it's kept evolving, new things started coming in. Now another problem was, okay, now the kings and governments had the power to create money, but how do they trade by, like one king to another king, one government to another government? How do they trade? Because everyone had their own thing. So that's when the banks came in, right? And that's what institution does. Institution creates opportunities. It removes boundaries. It opens a lot of new use cases which were not possible. So for example, if Sky would be there on only Sky network, the adoption will always be limited, right? But because we are multi-chain, that was one of the reasons that we moved to multiple chains, right?
Yes.
And that's how we are able to create that opportunity for arbitration, as well as create the opportunity for new use cases. That, okay, for there, if there is one debt owner who wants to, who is already running a successful project on Binance or on Ethereum, and wants to come and be part of Sky ecosystem, he would not be able to do if we would not have the tokens on Ethereum, right? So going on the multi-chain with the this whole initiative which we are doing, it created opportunity for new use cases. So, and also it's like you will see it in the results as well, that day by day there has been like 3-4 months of time before we went multi-chain, that there were no new projects on Sky network, right? And it was my commitment. I have been trying really hard to make sure that we do, like, at least we bring one project a week, right? Remember, even I've said this on the network show as well, but I was not able to deliver it. Why? Because we were lacking infrastructure. And it's not that, see, as many people know, that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And the path to, from start to being 100% is a long one. It's not a small one. The path which we have chose, right? Again, every project owner does that by themselves. Many of them uses centralized exchange listings. Many of them uses different things, right? There are multiple paths to the success. Like for example, Solana made his success with meme coins, right?
Yeah.
Or Ethereum made his success with the utilities by being decentralized, by having this many validators.
Yeah.
Or for example, Bitcoin did it by being the one thing, being the first one, being there creating that security, right? Creating that adoption. So every project takes its own course. With SCAI, what we have done is, with SCAI we have started with going this with the decentralized exchanges. So for now, for example, right now we are only on Uniswap, right? Yeah, correct,
Yeah.
Yogesh?
Uniswap, PancakeSwap.
Yeah, Uniswap, PancakeSwap. But that's not limited, right? So the path which we have chose to achieve the goal of being uh, ready and able to be adopted by institutions and users, and create those new use cases like payment processing, finance, DeFi. There's so many use cases. It's not limited to one thing. It's not just limited to like basically, as you know, like creativity and innovation have no bounds. All our work is to provide the infrastructure, and then it is the work of the particular project owners and particular developers to come up with the new innovations. So in order to facilitate that, we started with DEX. Now our goal is to reach all the DEX, right? All the decentralized exchanges with good liquidity. So once that is done, we'll move from decentralized exchange, like it's not move, it's like addition, right? We'll add from DEX, we'll add the centralized exchange. We'll start with like one of the leading one for sure. Then from that, we'll go to the next phase. In that phase, we'll move from one centralized exchange to all centralized exchanges, right? That's how the growth plan is. Then from once we have achieved that success, once we are on Bybit, once we are on Binance, once we are on all big exchanges or small exchanges, right? Then the plan is to move from centralized exchanges to institutional exchanges, right? For example, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, London Stock Exchange, or there are multiple stock exchanges which, depending on the availability and particular at that time land of the law, if whatever permit, like depending on what permits, uh, we have that vision that in order to reach that goal where SCAI is significant and the SCAI ecosystem is significant. It's not just value of SCAI which matters. The value of SCAI is derived from its ecosystem, right? As long as the ecosystem is healthy and working and progressing, there's no bounds that nobody can stop us. Okay, but it takes time, and as we were discussing, that from again from after even we go on to the institutional exchanges, like for example Ethereum ETF, right? So what ETF did was, it allowed banks, it allowed consumers to be participate in the ecosystem. So again, this is a general idea. Again, this is what my vision and my goal is. But this is what best option for SCAI to reach that goal, to be there, right? And to be at the position where each and every community member, because it's owned by a community, right? We are not the owners of the SCAI. Owners of the SCAI is SCAI community itself, because we are about to reach total supply is equal to circulating supply, right? And that is the biggest. I mean, I think that is the actual start of the project. Again, I could be wrong, but this is what my thinking is. I see the 100% like total supply is equal to circulating supply milestone as a start of this project. Again, I could be wrong here, but again, this is about point of view. So if you have any question, feel free to ask me in the like Telegram chat. Do join our Telegram. Okay, make sure to. I mean, that is the best place to be. Though there are so many FUDs and all, but will one problem at a time, and one thing at a one step at a time, and we'll work that things out as well. But I think this is so far what I think about institutional adoption of SCAI, and how SCAI will benefit. Like end of the results outcomes will be only two things, right? One, will be able to create new use cases. One. Number two, will be able to scale the utility. Will be able to scale the utility in a manner which is unforeseen. Okay, like listing on in onto the different centralized exchanges is not the way to grow. The way to grow is by creating the ecosystem, by having that real deal, right? That's what creates the real value. Yeah. Yogesh, would you like to add any point to this?
Yeah, definitely. So you are saying when it is like getting onto a institutional stock exchange, such as Bombay Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, New York, all these big institutional exchanges, stock exchanges. So getting there is in terms of ETF, exchange traded fund. So uh, probably everybody talking about the Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF and all these type of ETFs that are being approved by SEC, and now they are traded on those exchanges. So I think uh, governments are in some way or some point in a way they are also getting involved and trying approving certain things, because see, it's all about the adoption. If there are, let's say, millions of people are already talking about this or they're using this kind of technology, then definitely there is always a technological revolution. Now think about it, this in a way, for example, like a industrial revolution, like internet, that was one time a revolution. So in that time people were very skeptical. I mean, those people I have heard, like in the time of internet, they were too skeptical that how this gonna work. I mean, is it possible to connect one person from one part of the world to another part of the world? Is it really possible? So I mean, people were very skeptical, this is not gonna work, and it was unbelievable. But now as the internet evolved and it becomes so popular, and it's like, I mean, without internet now nobody can live. I mean, if there is like few hour 1 hour of internet breakout in your, I mean, it's impossible to live without internet. So that's what's happened with the technology. So same way, like this cryptocurrency, this blockchain technology, so now that gives and empowers the traditional financial institutions, right? So financial institution, PayPal, that was one of the player who actually break through this traditional financial transaction, things like that. So they've come up with the digital money. Like, what is the PayPal, like if one user transfer the money from one person to another person in another country, I mean, it's just the digital transaction. There are no actual physical transaction of money. It's just the digital. So this type of player brought up the revolution of digital money. Now that is going to evolve into a decentralized money. So Bitcoin already started that, Ethereum also followed that, and I mean, the institutional investors, all those players who are getting involved into this kind of technology, then they're taking that to the next level of decentralized financial system. So basically that allows all the institutional institutions and empowers them with their venture, but at the same time it also empowers the end users. I mean, why? Because it's closely connected with fiat. Now Sandeep was talking really right. I mean, we cannot avoid fiat, okay? I mean, of course people talk about the Web3 is like decentralized and it's a total different world and things like that, but think about this, there should be a connection between fiat and crypto. I understand both are different world. There are no direct connection. I mean, one is on, think about it, one crypto city, which is totally different city, and one is fiat city, that is completely different island, for example. There's no connection between them. But what about building a bridge over to those so that there will be two-way traffic? I mean, people can come from fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat. I mean, two-way traffic. So that will enable both worlds to connect and communicate powerfully, and also at the same time governmental control, regulatory compliances, and all kind of things that can play a huge role in creating this type of system. So yes, Sandeep, I mean, that's pretty exciting. I mean, to have this kind of structure.
I mean, couple of things which you put was really well, and even I would like to put some more effort on that and just add on to that. But before I do that, and let's acknowledge our viewers first again one more time to spend this 30 minutes with us. The next, I would like to put out to real statutory warnings here. Number one, whatever we say in the show, whatever we do here, right, this is not an investment advice and should never be taken as an investment advice. Number one, always do your own research. what we do here is an educational and communication part with our community, right? That what is the vision, what are the possibilities, what can be done, what cannot be done. Again, don't think of it as like, okay, tomorrow we are going to be creating an ETF, because that would be again, I mean, it is next to impossible for tomorrow. But we do have an, I'm like, not just possibility, I'm very certain about it also, that over the period of time, we should be able to do it. Because if Ethereum can, we can. If anybody else can, we definitely can. And it can only be done with the help and support of the community and the developers, and creating that ecosystem. End of the day, ecosystem is what will, take us far. Adoption will come from the projects will come from the adoption. Again, this is always a chicken and egg problem, right? If one thing is there, second thing will come, second thing is there, first thing will come. But one of that thing will, you will always have to create. And what we are good at, we are good at developing, right? That has been our forte. So what, that is what we will keep doing. And what we are creating now is an infrastructure for our, for those developers who are looking forward to build on security. And again, it is a job of the people, those who wants to join in, like those who want to create an ecosystem to provide the infrastructure. So again, I think I'll go to the Richie, and will take his views also. But just wanted to make sure that these two distinctions are clear with every users and every community members. So because of like misinformation or because of misunderstanding, you don't suffer anything, right? So I just wanted to make sure that the show is not about, it is not an investment advice. Number one, always do your own research, always be careful, be vigilant. And uh, the best thing which you can do to get the best benefit out of this bull run or upcoming bull runs, or out of this web3 ecosystem itself, that is to learn, right? And that's what we do the show for, is to, provide that access to our community of what we have learned. Again, we could be also wrong, right? We are not god, we have also studied somewhere, right? Richie, would you like to add anything
Yeah,
here?
100%. When you guys hear our podcast and us talking about these different the experience that we have over the last several years, right? This is meant to be informational, educational, and entertainment as well. So everyone, when you hear what we have to say and when you go and practice these in the future, make sure you do take that to your own research, right? That you fully understand these concepts that seem complicated at first. And our job now is to try bringing those down to a simple and easy to understand type of information, right? So make sure you guys are doing that next step, not just taking blind information from us or anyone else out there when it comes to your education in the crypto space itself, but also making sure you really understood those concepts, right? That you can put those in practice in the future because you did. I learned about it, I researched more about it, and now I can practice and I can take that into my day-to-day life. When we were talking about before about the whole currency and all that stuff and institutions, as much as the crypto space kind of has that mentality of we want to break away from the status quo, we want to make our own system and live in the centralized world. There's no just stop one and start the other. We have to bridge that gap. It's a hybrid system where the institutions have to be involved, right? The old system has to transition to the new system. So we had currencies that were backed by nothing. Then we had currencies backed by gold and silver and commodities, right? Then they broke away from that, and now they're just printing money. So the next natural step to shore up and solve that problem is digital currencies and blockchain in a trustless system that is decentralized. Now, that doesn't happen overnight. So in between the old system into the new future system that we're going to have in every economy around the world, we have to slowly progress from what we have now to where we're going to be in the next 5 to 15 years. And that happens by incorporating these big institutions along with the decentralized world that we're building, and making sure that our networks are able to bridge that gap. That's not just the closed system where we don't even take into account the old system, because they will never get the full mainstream adoption. We'll never get everyone, the big players, to play along, and we won't get incorporated into their system as well. This is a hybrid working together, not we're on our own little islands, and the old system we won't even touch, we won't even take into consideration, because that does not work. Adoption doesn't happen that way. The internet came and people are skeptical of it, and they thought it wouldn't work and they wouldn't use it, and now every single person has it on their phone and they can't live their life without it. The same thing will happen with blockchain technology. As we go into that mass adoption phase and really amplify our efforts here, we're going to see that shift. We're going to see those people who are skeptical and don't want to use this technology embrace it in the future when they see the value in it. But that comes with also including the institutions that they trust right now to push that forward as well and give them that sign of approval saying, okay, we're now working with this, so you guys can now feel confident to do the same, right? So that's the next step. That's the next evolution in the space. It's working with these old systems and updating them, evolving them with us so that everyone can bring and shift over or evolve with us in the future and really bring this to the natural progression of this technology, which is mass adoption, which is us using this day-to-day life and our networks being utilized on both sides of the coin and not just for the crypto savvy. We need to bring over the people who don't understand what crypto is and blockchain and give them that stepping stone to jump over to our system and really benefit for everything that we have built here, right? That's my views on that whole concept. I hope everyone really understands the complexity of it, but also the benefit of incorporating both sides of the coin and not just the crypto savvy want to get away from the old system, right? We got to bring that system with us because or else we never will get mass adoption.
Definitely, Richie, and you have put it really well. Thank you very much for creating that distinction and letting the community know about your views here, as well as so when you were saying, I just remembered one anecdote from my. So recently, I was talking with one of the investors. Okay, so they are a fund. They were investing, and the one question they asked was, what what is your biggest fear about Sky? you know he said, uh, basically he wanted to, we were having like a discussion couple of hours long, and after a couple of hours this was the question he came up with, that okay, what is your biggest fear with Sky? And my fear was this is what I told him, that my biggest fear is when Sky prices go high. The reason is, we want to, because we are, see, we have took the sustainable approach, right? We have not took the best, the kind of approach which shoots super fast in value and stops being available or even being a project in a couple of months or a year. We have took the sustainable project, and in order to stay sustainable, we have to stay vigilant. We have to make sure that the price of the Sky is always decided by the people, by everyone, by supply demand only, and is never artificially increased, or even sometimes it's just emotions, right? But again, that's what I told him, like that is my biggest fear, that we want to make sure that our net worth, or the total FDV of the Sky should be always justifiable, right? And I want to make sure that that's what we reach again. uh, Once, as I said, this is the start of the project itself. Like, if you guys are thinking that 2.5 2 years what we spent was, it was just first phase where we wanted to make sure that yeah, we wanted to make sure that we go, we take it towards the, we take that step where the project is sustainable, projects keeps running for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, because that's where the real value will come from. And during that period there are a couple of things which we need to navigate from. There are, I'm not saying that there are no danger areas, there are storms come in the way, there are so many things in the way, but being together with the values of democracy and decentralization as our priority, we can definitely achieve that. And I think, and also I think Yogesh has one more announcement, so I will go over to the Yogesh.
Yeah. So, yeah, you put it really right. So basically, most of the people think that the path to success is it's a straight line, but it's never a straight line. Okay, it's always ups and downs, and there are a lot of storms, as you are saying. There are storms, and there are many things. It's a rough road, right? So if those people, if you look at successful people and think that hey, they are very successful and this and that, but it's not always a straight line. It's not one straight line, I would say, but it's always a ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster journey. So yeah, I mean, if the project is having a sustainable, where there is a always focus on creating value, a real world value, which definitely provides the long term sustainability, right? So I mean, there is no hurry to get the price up, and then what happened after price is pumped, then it will be dumped and things like that. That's not the game that secure chain is started with. So basically, it's always decentralized and democratic, and always on principles of value creation, right? So that's all about this. Now it takes time. Okay, it's not like it doesn't. As Sandeep says, Rome was not built on one day, right? It takes time to build the project which is sustainable, which is fine. I mean, project doesn't have any rush, as long as moving steadily towards the path that is taken by most successful people or most successful projects, then definitely it's worth uh, spending and investing time and resources and everything.
Definitely, Yogesh.
Yeah.
Also, there's one more announcement that so there will be so in order to make the arbitrage opportunities equal for all the networks, there will be so the total liquidity of the project will be distributed over all the chains, and it will be again the bridge pair and the balances in the Sky mainnet will also be available. So we are taking care of that situation tomorrow. Also tomorrow there will be a burn, so we'll for share for that as well. I mean, these are the two announcements, and we yes, we are having a powerful conversation here, and it's not just like as we were discussing about the sustainability of the project, right? Again, this is one of the again anecdote from my conversation with one of the person that okay, he seemed like his question was, what is your USP, right? What is your unique selling point? What is that you do the best? I I told them that okay, so of course technically we have so many achievements. So I already counted them every all of them, and then the next one was that I told them that okay, I think would you like to add anything to this,
Yeah,
Yogesh?
yes. I mean, yeah, to be frank speaking, in terms of any business, I mean, this is a blockchain business or blockchain project, which is no different than the ordinary, no different than it takes, like, there was one successful person talking about what is the secret of success? Is it something like mystical manifestation secret? Then he says, yeah, there is a secret. And the secret is what? It's just the hard freaking work. I mean, that's the secret is. I mean, there is no other secret. So, yeah, I mean, there is this project, running a blockchain project, although that is a community project, okay? But it's no different than the traditional business. Principles applies the same, okay? And I'm very grateful for the community members who are with the project since beginning. There are so many people who are with the project since very beginning, very patient. They believe in the project, had a faith on the project. So I mean, appreciate all these people who are with the journey all the way through, from these many months, years, and then moving forward in the future. So I mean, taking these projects toward the sustainable futuristic project. One thing I would like to add here in terms of an AI, okay, don't underestimate the power of an AI. Now, in being in this technological field, what I have personally seen, there is a huge shift. I mean, tremendous amount of the shift that is happening in, especially in the development of software industry. So if you look at the software industry itself, there is a huge development of the tools and the software that are built based on artificial intelligence, AI, and they are so effectively solving the problems. They are so effectively building product and I mean doing a lot of work. There is also something called business automation process. So think about any business who has a lot of repetitive tasks and requires a lot of human resources and things like that. But what if that is taken care by an AI? So AI will be a disruptive technology. It will have impact on all these sectors, not only blockchain. Okay, AI will have a huge impact on all these sectors. So a huge tremendous technological disruption that is around the edge. Now, Elon Musk was talking about, I was listening to an interview of Elon Musk. He was saying within next 5 years, the artificial intelligence will exceed the total human intelligence. So anything that the human brain is capable of doing, the AI will do it even better and efficient within next 5 years. That's what he was talking about. Now think about it. What will happen to all these humans beings? I mean, even forget the top performers now, not those people who are not top performers. What will happen to those people? So this AI will bring a lot of value. It's a huge industry. It's like $3 trillion industry that's upcoming. Now there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of job opportunities, business opportunities. I mean everything. That's a huge. There are plus and minus. Okay, as every technology has plus and minus, dark and bright side. So the dark side will be those who will not upgrade their self into those technological area. They will be fall behind, and those who will get the benefit out of this. But so it's a plus and minus of all technological advancement. So yes, Sandeep. I mean, we are in the industry of blockchain and AI, right moment at the right time in the right place. What do you say?
Definitely, we are, and not just at the right time, right moment, at the right place, but with the right tools and with the right experience on our
Yeah,
belt.
definitely.
So yeah, definitely, that does make a lot of sense. Thank you, Yogesh, for putting it up. Also, Richie, would you like to add anything here?
When it comes to blockchain and crypto prices, that seems to be where people establish a value, where they see, perceive how good a blockchain is doing or not doing is by the price going up or down. But many people don't actually see the implementation that's being done on the background that gives it that value. Why is Ethereum valued at what it is? Why is Bitcoin valued at what it is? It's because of the background technology that's implemented there and the adoption that's happening around that coin. So if your coin is solving a real world problem and it's actually getting adopted, the lagging indicator is the price will go up in the long term, right? When people see a price jump up after ICO launch or ITO launch, and they think, oh, it was really great because the price went up by 50%, right? But they don't see the years of work that that token or coin has been putting together to solve problems, to actually build in this network and give it that value where people say, I will pay whatever this price is for that coin or token because of what they've done, because of the industry that they're going to impact with their technology, not just because someone wants to buy and sell it for whatever price, right? We see the end result, which is the price action, but we don't see the actual work being done behind the scenes, right? The value comes not to action, even though that is what we see. It comes from the actual implementation of this technology and what problems they're solving with the technology itself. So us as developers, as leaders in blockchain space, of how can we implement our technologies like SCAI like Evolve Coin, and really solve real world problems, because that's the only way people are actually going to use the token and the coin, right? And that's the only way that the valuation or the perceived value of what our coin is worth will increase in the future. It's by us solving real world problems, not just speculation, not just trading, not just manipulating prices. That's been done for the early stages of crypto and everything else. The long-term successful blockchains are the ones that over time actually solve real-world problems, not the ones that just overhype their launches. And yeah, there's some price action to start, but then what happens? They fizzle out over time, and then people really step back and say, hey, wait a second, why is this worth that? I don't see that value there because they're not actually doing anything. They just have a coin that they launched, and what? Now we should value it at $10 a coin or whatever that may be because they're just there. No, it really has to do with long-term vision is of that team, what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to solve, because then you have to use that coin for that use case, not just have that coin in your wallet and sell it back and forth and hope that it goes up in price, right? That coin has to be used as a fundamental changing of ideas, right? For example, Evo Health. If you have to use Evo coin for Evo Health, the transactions in that network, and that network is better than what we have here. It evolves the healthcare system. Now we've given value to evolve blockchain, right? That's the concept that really needs to be understood by everyone. Look for projects that you believe in the future are solving real world problems, because the fanatical hype around just blockchain itself and these phrases and coins that come out and launch with no real game plan, no real like long-term vision, that's very short-lived. And so if you want something that's going to be sustainable long-term and will survive the test of time, and I'm not talking a month or two, I'm talking 10, 20, 50, 100 years, you have to look for the projects that are really working their asses off to change the way we live and change their day-to-day life using this technology, right? That's what gives value, not because you've spent $100,000 in marketing and tried to pump your coin before your launch, and we're lucky enough that people believe you. We're really going to see the shift in people valuing the crypto space in general by what it does and not because of the hype. Because we've gone through that process already. Look what happened to NFTs. Look what happened to all these ICOs and token launches. They were doing 10, 20x every time they launched, right? We're no longer seeing that because people have wised up and smartened up and realized that the value is not just because you hyped it up. It's what you're doing, how you're doing it, who is a part of your team, and your long-term vision. And that's how it should be, right? That's the natural progression of this space. So we're going to see that shift. We're going to see people get smarter and smarter when it comes to picking which blockchains that they use for their day-to-day. Institutions are going to lead the charge there as well, because they're going to obviously use blockchains that they believe can support their operations long-term, and not just because they were really hyped up and they want to take advantage of a price action early, because that comes back to bite them in the you know what later on when that blockchain has problems because they have no real utility. They were just overhyped and that's it. So on that concept, I think people really need to kind of take a step back and not just see which project's been talked about the most, but doesn't really have utility, but which ones are actually building utility, building solutions using this technology, which changes everything. Blockchain technology and its trustless nature, centralized nature, changes the way we live. So, and then on top of that, like Yogesh was talking about, you implement AI on top of that, and now we just compounded that effect. So the blockchains that can really utilize AI, solve real world problems, and give that value, not perceived value, but actual value, day-to-day use cases, you have to use that blockchain for these use cases. Those are the ones that are going to win in the end. And I think both SCAI Network and Evolve Blockchain are really not just talking about it, but actually implementing these solutions and really pushing this industry forward. And over time, the price action, if we are successful and do what we should on our side and really give that value, we'll represent that, right? So at this point in time, I don't think it's about price action. I don't think that's not the indicator that people should be looking at, even though it's a lagging indicator and it does have a part to play here. I think it's really taking a step back and saying which blockchains are solving what and why do I value them for what they are, because that's going to be your success in the end, right?
Definitely, Ricky.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's a technological, those technologies solving the real world problems at the end in a long term sustainable way. That's what it will bring. The These are the ones who will sustain for the long period of time. So you put it really well. And yes, Sandeep, I mean, pretty well, this conversation has gone through it. And I think the topic for today was the how the Wall Street meets the Web3 and what will happen and what are the opportunities for the SCAI and Evolve blockchain and Lego blockchain and many others that are being partnered with these the alliances can get benefit, and what the way forward that can help support these blockchains and the ecosystems to moving to the next heights. So I think, yeah, today was a very great, fruitful conversation, and I hope all the community members would have gained the insights of this.
Definitely, Yogesh. Also, as we are reaching the end of the show, would like to take a couple of questions here. So there's one question from Kirito, that any latest news from the Sky team for the Dubai trip, right? So Kirito, I won't be able to give you the exact details or won't go too much in detail, but I would say simply it was first of many, and it was productive and learned a lot, gained a lot, and as we have signed agreements or things are in process, we cannot publicly announce anything. So stay tuned and make sure to join us uh, for our 31st May, which is going to be the grand finale of season 3, right? So make sure to be available. Just follow all the social media channels and everything. Make sure you join in the Telegram channel, and also your friends and anybody who are listening. Make sure you guys stay connected with Secure Chain. Every Saturday 2 p.m. UTC we come here, and we have been doing it for so long, and we will keep doing it for foreseeable future as much as possible. So yeah, stay connected, keep learning, and yeah, this week has been great, and next week is gonna be amazing. So I think I'll go over to the Richie. Richie, would you like to do the concluding remarks?
Yeah, thanks for having me once again. These concepts we talk about every week and the different ones is extremely important in your journey through the Web3 space and the crypto space itself, right? So every week, make sure you guys really take the information that you soak in from our experience and then take the next step. Don't just stop there and just leave it for what it is. Really go into like learning more, doing your own research about what we speak about, and really understanding and grasping those concepts. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you successful. Not just taking someone else's words and then repeating them, but understanding them, right? Truly grasping those concepts and using that in your day-to-day life. So that's the next step. Once again, great conversations, like always. I thank you guys for having me every week, and I look forward to next week's conversation as well.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Richie, for taking this time out, and thank you very much, every one of you, to give us this hour and learn more about the Web3 ecosystem, learn more about the Sky Network, what we are, what we are doing, what we are gonna be doing. This is what our vision is, what we have achieved so far, what we will, be doing in the upcoming time. But before I think I do my closing remarks, I also wanted to put one more point here regarding the price action which we were talking, right? So I did missed it. So before we close the show, let me give you that. Basically, what many projects do is they limit the supply coming into the circulation in order to manage their manage the prices, and it's okay. It's a fair way to do it. We are not against it, but that has not been our model, right? And because we are a deflationary ecosystem, we have all the tools and techniques required to create that equal economy, to create that global economy. Okay, and in order to do it, I think the path which we have chose, right? That because we wanted to make sure that community is what is getting the benefit of the growth, not just us. So that has been that clear distinction, and that is the reason that the milestone which I said, like when we reach total supply is equal to circulating supply, that is what is actual start of the project, according to me, and according to the vision we are having, right? So that's the clear distinction between many projects. And as there are so many projects out there, everybody has a different thing, everybody creates their own path, and as you say, all roads, there's a pro, right? All roads leads to the Rome. So yeah, see you in the room. By the way, thank you very much everyone for joining in. Wishing every one of you a very happy weekend and a productive week ahead. We'll see you everyone at 2 p.m. UTC next Saturday. Make sure to join us. Make sure to go to show.securechain.ai in order to claim your airdrop for 747 token, which is a meme coin on Sky Network. So thank you everyone for joining in. We'll see you next Saturday. Have a good one.